While winning the NBA draft lottery is a privilege, it is also a responsibility, especially if you don't get the number one overall pick. A majority of NBA history has shown that the difference between the second and third pick has been huge, especially in the 21st century, where sometimes the second pick is better, but most times the third pick has actually been better. For example, Jalen Green over Evan Mobley, James Wiseman over LaMelo, Bagley over Luka, Lonzo Ball over Jason Tatum, Jabari Parker over Joel Embiid, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist over Bradley Beal, and Hasheem Thabeet over James Harden. Since 2007, when Kevin Durant went number 2, the only times that I would definitively say that the second pick cleared the third was Ja Morant going over RJ Barrett, which by the way, RJ Barrett has played more games and still is a good player, and then D'Lo over Jahlil Okafor. And even then, D'Lo isn't even a guy who was great for a second overall pick. I mean, right now he's getting cooked in China. I'm also not counting guys who are too young right now, like Chet versus Jabari. The point is, no matter how much you like either Dylan Harper or Ace Bailey, you cannot say with a 100% certainty that there is an easy pick here. And as NBA history has shown, the likelihood of picks 1, 2, and 3 all being star players just isn't very likely. As of right now, Dylan Harper is a heavy favorite by Vegas odds to go number 2, but I don't think that the Spurs have actually made their decision so far. Their mind is not set, so here's my opinion on each prospect, how they would fit with the Spurs, and then I'll tell y'all who I would personally draft, and then at the end, I'll just mock up some trades because I'm kind of bored. Dylan Harper is an amazing guard prospect, and he really reminds me of, and no disrespect here, but a worse version of Cade Cunningham coming out of Oklahoma State. A taller guard who can control the game, great footwork, and great slashing ability. He was also a good guard defender at the college level, and can make an easy pass when he needs to. I think that if you want a 100% chance of not getting fired for a draft pick, then you pick Dylan Harper, no questions asked. If you just want a safe guard who's going to play no matter what for probably 12, 13 years, then you draft him. However, I have some concerns. For a point guard, I really don't think he's an amazing playmaker. I understand that he played with Ace Bailey and then like 13 future accountants, but there were times where I was watching him and he had an easy pass to someone for an open dunk and he just didn't make the read. I actually think the times where he made the best reads were two different scenarios. Either he was on the drive and then when the defense would send 2 defenders at him early and then he passed to someone near the free throw line and they'd make a play. Now these 2 scenarios are something that could happen quite frequently at the NBA level, but I'm just not sure how often it will happen to Dylan Harper specifically. In order to get attention from help NBA defenders, you have to put pressure on the rim, and I think one of the best ways to put pressure on the rim is to also have a good pull-up jump shot, which Dylan Harper does not have. He was inefficient in both mid-range and 3-point pull-up shots, and if a defender doesn't respect your shot, it is a lot easier to stop you from getting to the rim, so he will have to rely heavily on his footwork, which he's very good at. But I mean, I also just think he's not a shooter in general, which is going to be a very weird fit next to De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama, who can definitely shoot, but they are not snipers by any means. I mean, Wemby can just shoot over anyone, but his actual percentages, I mean, I just don't think he'll ever be like a 40% shooter. And yeah, this lack of shooting will be a concern because he will immediately be like the 3rd offensive option, and even just scoring wise, he'll be like the 4th option behind Devin Vassell. This also doesn't include how the Spurs feel about Stephon Castle, the reigning Rookie of the Year. Ideally, you want your reigning Rookie of the Year to start in his next season, in his 2nd season. And although I think it's possible for Stephon Castle to start at small forward, it is not ideal. Not even for like his height, like he's a very small guy to play the small forward position. But the shooting of Fox, Castle, Dylan Harper, Wembanyama, it would not be good. Now, if you truly believe that Dylan Harper is a top 2 guy in this class, then you take him 100% no matter what. I mean, he's a safe pick. He'll be playable in the playoffs. He's versatile and he has all-star potential. But hear me out on the second option. Ace Bailey is the pinnacle of boom or bust. He's almost 6'9" with shoes on, can shoot from anywhere on the court, is athletic as hell, and can play defense. At Rutgers, he had to consistently take low IQ shots. Some people say this is because of his inability to create efficient shots for himself, and then other people would say, well, he had no help, he only had Dylan Harper, so he just had to take bad shots because no one was generating any good looks for him. I think both of these are true to a certain extent, but what really concerns me is this quote that came out about him taking these bad shots. He said, "What might be a bad shot to you, you don't work on it. I work on it." Is this a bad thing? I'd lean yes, because I could imagine someone like Michael Porter Jr. saying this, and while Michael Porter Jr. is one of the best shooters in the league, when you have this mentality, you can easily be played off the court in the playoffs, and at the number 2 overall pick, you can't afford to draft a guy who's potentially unplayable in the playoffs. My issue with people being this low on Bailey, though, is I feel like in the right system, if the right team takes him, his weaknesses of playmaking and shot creation and all that can be incredibly reduced. I mean, if he's on the Spurs, you have guards in De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle who will constantly generate good looks for you. You have Victor Wembanyama, who might be the best center outside of Jokic at creating good shots for other people as he's 7'5" and unguardable. I mean, I think this system fits him perfectly. Oh, you don't think his rebounding is amazing? Well, it'll probably look pretty good next to a 7'5" Victor Wembanyama. And again, I will mention, the Spurs' opinion on Stephon Castle might have a huge impact on this pick. I have seen Spurs fans call this guy the next Shea. I have seen non-Spurs fans say that in a future draft class, he would not go top 5 in any year in the next 10 years. I'm somewhere in the middle. I think he's going to be a great role player, especially if he gets his shooting down. Like, if I had to give him a comparison, I think eventually he can be like a Drew Holiday kind of guy. But the only opinion that actually matters is the GM's. If Stephon Castle is truly a future star in your eyes, and you don't think there's that big of a difference in the talent gap between Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, then you go Bailey because he fits better. And like I mentioned at the beginning, he is a boom or bust guy. I like De'Aaron Fox, I like Devin Vassell, I like Stephon Castle, but how confident are you in any of those guys being the true number 2 on a championship contender next to Wemby? Now, you are way more confident in Fox than anyone else because he's shown that he could be a great number 1. But I don't know, if I'm a Spurs fan, I'm not 100% confident in Fox. And maybe you are in Dylan Harper, but personally, I want to go with the boom guy. I want to go with the guy with the most potential. I think if Ace Bailey has good work ethic, watches film and all that, he could be a true number 2. Now, I do think Tatum is a number 1, but I do see Tatum potential in Ace Bailey, which is just something I don't see in Dylan Harper. So it sounds like I think Ace Bailey is the right pick, and with the small amount of information that I have, that's true. But I don't get to spend hours with him, working out with him, interviewing him. So if the Spurs do this and don't like how he moves, then by all means, Harper is your guy, but I'm rocking with Ace. Drafting the safer prospect is a move that you make when you 100% believe in the core that you have. Me personally, outside of Wemby, maybe Fox, I don't believe entirely in this core. So I'm rolling the dice. So that's my opinion, but here's some fun trades. First one is one that I'm not too confident in, and I'll get to some of the other ones I'm confident in later. But here's Giannis and AJ Green for Castle, Sohan, Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, the number 2 pick, 14 pick, and a future Hawks pick. I don't know who wins, but the Spurs have no depth now. But that top 3 of Wemby, Giannis, and Fox is like the best in the league besides maybe OKC. And even then, I think the Spurs clear them. But then also the Bucks get a couple older guys that they don't need. Maybe it's like a 3 or 4 team trade. I don't know, but I like the idea. This trade I like a lot for both teams. It's number 2 to the Jazz for pick 5, a 2029 unprotected first round pick, and pick 43. Kind of similar to the 2017 trade when the Celtics traded down from the first pick to the 3rd one and got Jason Tatum. I mean, the Jazz need a guy with star potential, and the Spurs just get more assets and then can possibly draft a great role player at 5. Another good trade down is the Wizards for 6, 18, and the other Champagny brother to give each of them a good old family chemistry boost. I'll end it there because I want most of the video to be about who they would draft it to. My preference is Ace Bailey. You guys let me know who you would draft in the comments right there. And if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. I'm going to try and upload 15 times in June. It's going to be hard because I've never been that consistent, literally ever, but I'm going to try. Peace out.